we don't let our cell phone's battery die. When it's just 10%, we are freaking out looking for charger everywhere. And if we don't find the charger, sometimes we'll go inside the car and, we'll charge the phone inside the car because we are so worried. Oh my God, I have only 10% battery. And these days, we have to charge our cell phone battery every single day because we are using our phones for multiple reasons. Olden days, when we had only phone calls, our phone's battery lasted for few days, at least 2 days minimum or 3 days. But now, as it's getting upgraded, we have to charge it every single day. It's the same with our mind and our body. If you're focused at one thing, you will not lose too much battery. Yeah, I mean, your personal battery, you stay more productive. But when you're focusing, multitasking, you are, overwhelmed with all the social media notifications, and then you have to send an email, and then you are trying to juggle with, things at home because most of the people these days are at home during COVID-19. That actually reduces our energy levels even more. So when we are so much worried about our cell phone's battery, what about our own battery? Every single day.
Are you confident? Do you have consistency? How much conviction do you have? I'm Daniel Gomez, the Confidence Architect, a business strategist, keynote speaker, executive coach, and best-selling author. On the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, we will help you unlock confidence to create consistency and develop conviction. Together, we will discover the key that unlocks your confidence. Welcome to another episode of the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. We love bringing you great people that just really add value to our audience. And let me explain. Kajal is an amazing, amazing woman. I was honored to be on her podcast a little over a month ago, and just her wisdom that she shares is timeless. It's really timeless. I see her post on LinkedIn and I read her words and I'm like, man, just the inner energy, the inner just soul is released when you speak. I just love it, Kajal. So welcome to the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show.
Thank you so much. And I'm honored to be here. Thank you for that lovely and warm introduction.
Well, actually, that was just kind of just my version of who you are. But, I was on your show, and just the way you speak, you're so elegant. So, I mean, I love it, right? Because you speak from the heart. And I know who you are, right? So I love my audience. I love my guests to introduce themselves. So do me a favor. Tell the world, who is Kajal?
Who am I? I am an Indian female born and raised in India, traveled across the globe, still trying to figure out who am I. But in a nutshell, I'm a mom of 2 girls and I live in Singapore. I'm a health and mindset coach. I'm a published author and I'm a podcast host.
Well, you're very successful too, because I see your activity and you're doing some amazing things. I just love the way you give back. I've been blessed with just the opportunity to really see people's hearts, and your heart is pure. Your heart is of gold from what I see, because you're genuine, right? And that's what I love.
Thank you. Really appreciate
it. So since we're talking about being genuine, what have you seen going on your side of the country, right? Because right now it's 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock here in the morning in San Antonio, and you're 9 o'clock at night in Singapore. What have you seen going on in Singapore as far as genuineness goes with everything that's going on in the world? What do you see that's different in your culture over there?
I think there are very less people or organization or whoever who are being genuine. The mindset of people are only about ROIs. Even if you're talking to someone, the first thought you have is, what can I get in return from this person? If you don't have an ROI or you don't see an ROI, you are really not interested in talking to this person or having that person in your network, close network. So most of the people look at ROIs. And I think in Singapore, this is something very big I have noticed in last 7 years. Even, I'm sorry to say, but even the government works like that, wherever there's return on investment, they would be happily, welcoming you with their open arms. So genuineness means being authentic. Genuineness means being human, having that empathy towards mankind. That is definitely missing.
Wow. And, and I see that we just moved into our new house over here in San Antonio, and we've been going to the stores, furniture stores, and just Lowe's and buying things for the house. And you see how you see under stress and under pressure, a person's real character comes out. And
Right.
I've noticed some things in myself, right? Because we haven't moved we were in our last house for 20 years. And moving from that house to this house, there was a lot of a lot of things that were just going on. I didn't realize it was going to be so hard on me, to be honest with you, because it was a
Right.
big transition. But I see when I go to the stores that people I'm like, wow, like how can I react that way? What can somebody do to change that, right? Because if you see somebody as an ROI, and I understand we get into that fight or flight zone, right? We get desperate. And I'll never forget what one of my first managers ever told me when I first got in the car business. He goes, your face is a TV. Your brain is a VCR. Whatever's playing in your brain in the VCR is going to show on your face. And people
So
can
true.
see that. So talk to
Right.
us. How can somebody change what they're expressing? Because right now, let's face it, there's still some anxiety, uncertainty. But what can somebody do to reframe that mindset?
See, you gave a beautiful analogy of the TV and VCR, right? So we are all energies vibrating at different frequency, whether we accept it or not. We all are energies. Some are vibrating at low frequency, some are vibrating at high frequency. So to change that, you need to change the tapes in the VCR, right? If you keep playing the old tapes, your old tapes are going to show up on your face. So literally, you need to change your mindset, that inner dialogue you have with your own self. You can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Most of the time, we rely on external factors or people to make us feel good. But I believe that we are responsible for how we feel. What thoughts are inside our mind, what is that self dialogue which is going on inside. I'm not good. I don't know why other people are more successful than I am. I have to work so hard. I'm never lucky. I always get criticism. People don't appreciate my work. All these needs to be changed. So, and it's not easy, because changing the tapes or CDs or probably the thing we use USB is easy, but changing the old patterns we have in our head is not so easy. It needs daily practice, daily implementation, step by step. So you need to start with self love. Unless you don't start loving yourself and accepting the way you are, whatever body God gave you, whatever the color of your skin is, whatever the texture of your hair is. When I was small, I heard, not very small, but maybe in my teens, I heard this quote. I don't remember it exactly, but I'll try to recall it. Man is a fool. When it's cold, he wants hot. When it's hot, he wants cold. He always wants what's not. He always wants what's not, right?
Oh, that's
So
a
if
good one. I
yeah,
love.
so if I have curly hair, I want straight hair. If I have straight hair, I want curly hair. If I'm brown, I want to be white. If I'm white, I'm on the beach tanning my body. So that self acceptance is missing, self love is missing. And then because of all this, and third very important thing is we are always looking outside for approval and acceptance.
So let me ask you this, because I agree with everything you're saying, but I want to touch on something. So, like I have clients ask me, Daniel, well, you have it all together, right? You don't say affirmations or you don't say positive self-love talk. I say it every day. Every day I need to say it, because if I don't say it, I think what most people don't realize is we have these the analogy I use is these big tractor tracks, right? These big tractor tracks where somebody goes over the mud. And once the mud dries, you can see those big tractor tracks. Well, if you go in a little car, it's going to get stuck. And that's what
Yeah.
happens is we get stuck in our own tractor tracks that we have within our own mindset. And the only way you're going to overcome that is, right, you have to decrease that negative flow of negative thoughts and increase the positive look, how you see yourself, the positive outlook. So share your wisdom at this time. What is something that you do? I understand the self-love, but sometimes just say somebody, can we make it simpler? What's an exercise somebody can do to really start practicing self-love and to start reframing that mindset?
So, in the beginning, it's very challenging because you don't see results. Mind again expects results very fast, and then you do it for a few days and give up. You'll say, I tried it, but it didn't work. But it's not true. It works. So they say, fake it until you make it. You have to keep repeating positive affirmations until you literally feel them in your body and in yourself. So when I wake up in the morning, first thing is gratitude. Honestly, God knows I am so happy to be alive every morning when I wake up. I'm like, thank God I'm alive. Then I look around, I'm like, thank God my family is alive, and they're all healthy. And then when I, go to the bathroom, I look myself in the mirror and I start talking to myself that very moment. In the morning, I tell myself, good morning, Kajal. And then I'll say, I love you. And I accept you the way you are. I literally start my day every single morning like this. And I say it out loud inside the bathroom. Even if my kids are listening to me, my husband is outside, whatever, I really don't care. And I keep doing this every time I look myself in the mirror. I tell myself, I love myself and I accept myself as I am. So this is something I have been practicing for many years. In the beginning, it sounded very funny. I would say it and laugh and I was like, what am I doing, But now I got so used to it and I feel so positive. And the moment I say that, I have a smile on my face. So I start my day with that positivity and smile. And then I also look at my kids like that. I hug them and I say good morning to them and I say I love you to them. People say, oh, you should not overdo it. They will get attached to being, loved and all these things. But it's not true, especially when you're a child between the age of 0 to 8. Whatever you get will be hardwired inside your brain when you're an adult. Most of the people are trying to change, what they have learned or seen, or they had damages during their childhood. That's why they have fear, they have this insecurities, and there's this negativity because probably they had, their parents' marriage didn't work out, or they were, bullied in the school. So as a child, whatever happens stays with you for the rest of your life. So my secret is I do that every morning to myself first.
No, I've been saying that, no joke, for the last 15 years. Every morning I wake up, I tell myself, I love myself. I believe in myself. I am a mighty man of God. And I look in the mirror and I look into my pupils and I say, I love you, Daniel Gomez, because you never give up. I love you, Daniel Gomez, because you always persevere. And that's changed my life. And the moments I don't say it, I realize that your body's used to it, right? You need that self-love. And so many of us, we miss that. And I love what you said. Like just this morning, I got my iPhone and it says software update needed, right? Software update needed. So think about the iPhone as being us, our brains. Yeah. And you figure every day we upgrade our software in our phones. We upgrade the software. Our computers get old, so we upgrade the software in our computers. But we never upgrade the software in our brain. We never upgrade our thinking. Isn't that amazing?
It is. And if you don't mind, I would like to add something to it. Definitely softwares need upgradation. Our brain needs upgradation. But apart from that, another analogy, what I use, we don't let our cell phone's battery die. When it's just 10%, we are freaking out looking for charger everywhere. And if we don't find the charger, sometimes we'll go inside the car and, we'll charge the phone inside the car because we are so worried. Oh my God, I have only 10% battery. And these days we have to charge our cell phone battery every single day because we are using our phones for multiple reasons, for Facebook, for WhatsApp, for calling, for SMS, for surfing internet. Olden days, when we had only phone calls, our phone's battery lasted for few days. at least 2 days minimum or 3 days. But now, as it's getting upgraded, we have to charge it every single day. It's the same with our mind and our body. If you're focused at one thing, you will not lose too much battery. Yeah, I mean, your personal battery, you stay more productive. But when you're focusing, multitasking, you are, overwhelmed with all the social media notifications, and then you have to send an email, and then you're trying to juggle with, things at home, because most of the people these days are at home during COVID-19. That actually reduces our energy levels even more. So when we are so much worried about our cell phone's battery, what about our own battery? Every single day,
Yes, I love that.
what are you doing to charge it? Your mind, your emotions, your physical body.
Yes, I love that. I love the fact that you talk so eloquent. I love to hear your voice.
Thank you.
So tell us, because your voice is probably going to change a little bit here. I see you as very successful, and you have a book, and not only that, but you serve humanity in a positive way. But there was a time when you lost your confidence, when you were starting your journey of being this new Kajal, now that you are the new person, the new you. Tell us a season where you lost your confidence, and what happened during that season, and how did you regain yourself? How did you regain that confidence within yourself?
I think we do that from time to time. I have lost my confidence multiple times, I would admit it, but I am unstoppable. I don't, give up very easily. Yes, sometimes I get overwhelmed and I feel that, oh, what am I doing? Am I doing it right? I have my self doubts sometimes. So, yes, when I feel lack of confidence or I feel I've lost it, I just remind myself like when I'm on this journey to impact people's lives, spread happiness, and change the world, am I doing this for me or for others? So I have to remind myself about why am I doing it? What is my why? When I think about my why and I meditate a bit to, recharge my batteries, I come back very easily. I don't get into the negative zone for too long, I do it. I sometimes lose it, but I immediately come out of it, maybe in few hours or maybe sometimes one day. So let me give you an example. Last year in October, in 2019, I went to Bali, right? I left my kids for 3 nights and I went to meet someone in Bali for a partnership, right? We were thinking about a project and I was like, okay, let's do that. And when I went, I met this guy. The energies were not right. We had long meetings and I didn't feel comfortable. Something inside me was not happy. I didn't say nothing and I came back very disappointed. First, I had to gather courage to tell this to my husband that, I went all the way to Bali, leaving the kids. There were costs also attached to it. And now I don't feel it, I don't feel right about this project and I don't want to pursue it. I want to give up. So it took me like when I came back, I was very shattered that what did I do? How can I be wrong? Was this is not the right decision? But then I told myself, you have only 24 hours to cry, crib, or do whatever you want to and come out of it stronger. So during this 24 hours, I analyzed the whole situation, how it started, what were my thoughts in the beginning, and what steps or measures I took, and what was the outcome. And then I was like, it's okay, it's good that I went and I met this person in person, so I could feel the energies and know that this is not right. Imagine if I would have been in Singapore and we would have invested and started the project and later I would have realized it would have been worse. So after 24 hours, I gathered courage to tell my husband, this is it. He wasn't so happy about it, but then he understood and he said, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Because in my head, I was thinking about the money I spent, to go to Bali, my flight, my hotels, my time. I left my kids behind. So all these things made me feel very low and I lost my confidence. But then I spoke to myself and I said, you have to come out of it within 24 hours. And during that time, I analyzed it and I gathered courage to tell my husband first. And also, then I was responsible to communicate this to the other party in Bali. So I had to gather courage to tell him, listen, it was nice meeting you, but I don't think I want to pursue this. Of course, the guy was very upset and he wanted it badly. I was like, he accused me for a lot of things. And I just
it's like
closed my ears.
nice meeting you,
Yeah.
but I don't like you.
Yeah, something like that you can say. But it wasn't easy, but I didn't give up.
It reminds me, something that I do now. Now on Facebook, it comes up just videos from a year ago, 2 years ago. And when I never thought about this till you're talking about it right now, is I need to start using those videos for me to realize how far I've come. Sometimes we forget how far we've come. And the moment you realize, man, look at where I'm at. Look at where I was. And it just gives you the confidence. But it's amazing what you just said. You just triggered my mind with that. And I love the fact. So right now, I want y'all to get your pen and put the pen to paper and take down this wisdom she's sharing with us. Don't force something to happen. If you meet with somebody, if you're thinking about collaborating with somebody and that vibe isn't there, don't force it. Don't do it, because listen to what Kajal said. She said she paid for a plane ticket. She left her kids with the sitter. She left her kids at home. So she invested, we'll just say money. And so just to say $1,000, and it doesn't matter. Sometimes you got to go through that to grow your business. You got to go through that to grow yourself. So don't force something just to get, like she opened up. When the moment you try to just go for the ROI, you're going to make mistakes and you're going to mess up. But when you really go from the point of loving people, serving people, is this project going to help somebody? Is this project going to help me? And you see it. And let's face it. I love what you said, Kajal, because I was one of those, I was guilty of, I wanted everybody to like me. And the reality is not everybody's going to like you or my content, whatever I do. They're going to find something wrong with it. So I say that because it's okay to meet with somebody or think that this person is perfect for you, and they might not be. So I thank you for having the courage to do that.
Thank you so much. And you've said it right. It's so true. You have to take chance. Even if you're an entrepreneur, first of all, your intentions should be right. If you're here to serve people, money is a byproduct. Of course, we all need money to survive, especially in today's time. But money is a byproduct. If your intentions are right, it will just come, right? God will manifest right people in your life. But sometimes, it's the mind again, because the mind wants it badly. Mind is expecting results. Mind is expecting ROI. So you have to talk to your mind back. That's why I said you can be your best friend or worst enemy.
Let me ask you this. So if someone wakes up and they're doing the routine, telling themselves they love themselves, but I've been there where it's like, I don't want to do it. Like yesterday, I woke up and I'm being honest. I'm being totally transparent. I went and got my wife and said, will you come pray with me? She goes, what's wrong? I said, I'm not feeling the prayer I'm in right now. I need to change something. And she joined me. We had a beautiful prayer. But what does Kajal do to be consistent day in and day out? Talk to us about your consistency.
I am not very rigid on myself, to be very honest. Some days, if I don't feel like, I let it be. I have learned the art of acceptance, I would say, if that's the right word. I don't force things. Yeah, we feel bad that, I've not done my morning routine or my prayers. But then I ask myself, it's okay. I don't have to be so hard on myself. And then I accept it, I've mentioned this in my book. Just sit for a few seconds wherever you're or stand. And if you don't feel like doing nothing, tell yourself, I accept it. I accept it. I accept it. And when you accept it, it becomes easy. I think that's the reason I'm so consistent, because then it naturally comes back.
Yeah. Instead of trying to force it.
Yeah. Because you see, it's like, imagine a rubber band. If you are going to over pull it, it's going to break. So sometimes our energies, our mind, our emotions are also like that. If you're going to over stretch it, it might have negative effect or impact on us.
Yes. And you know what I hear you saying is just have grace.
Yeah.
If we were to understand grace a little bit more, we would show more grace to other people and we would show more grace to ourselves. And I remember my wife came into the room because I was like, I felt like I put more pressure on myself than what I should have because I was like, man, I only prayed for like 30 minutes, but I was like, I thought I was done. But usually I try to spend like my first hour with God in the morning. She goes, well, stop being so hard on yourself. And that's
Yeah.
when it's like, just extend that grace. And I think we need to extend that. I love what you just said. We need to extend that grace to yourself and it's okay. Don't get lazy, but it's okay to
Exactly.
have an off day. So I love what you said with that.
It's okay to have an off day, but you also did good, even if you did it for 30 minutes. Imagine, I think you should always be very optimistic and say, okay, at least I did it for 30 minutes rather than not doing it.
Yes.
30 is better than zero.
So what makes you distinctive? What makes you distinctive? What sets you apart from everybody else? What's your uniqueness, John?
I am very balanced. From the very beginning of my life, I always like to have a balanced life, family wise, profession wise, and health wise. I think that's the key to my success. I try to find balance in everything I do. I think excess of anything is bad. And I have tried that and tested that. And I love having, a very healthy lifestyle. So I try to find balance. I tell my kids also, my husband also, don't overdo anything. Don't overeat. Don't overlove anyone. Don't overdo anything, Just find right balance in life.
So if someone has things out of whack, right? If things are out of proportion, how do you find that balance? How do you, because I see it a lot of times in people that I coach, or I see it in people just in networking events or events that we go to. How does somebody find that balance if it's not there?
First of all, one needs to understand what their priorities are in life. Once you're clear on what your priorities are, see, when you're very young, especially if you're in your 20s, you don't have, your priorities are different for sure. But when you're in your 50s, your priority changes. So it depends at what age of your life you are in right now and what's your priority. And I always tell people, the sooner you start, the better it is for you. Because to change your habits or to, change your or, rewire your brain after you cross 40 or 50 is harder. If you're in your prime age, I call 25 to 40 is prime age. If you're still in your prime age, take charge of your life. Think about eating right. Think about sleeping and not sleeping with gadgets. Keep your mobile phones, your laptops, and your iPads, and no Netflix and no television at least 1 hour before your bedtime. Just switch off with external world and try to switch in. These are very small lifestyle changes one needs to bring in to find balance. You don't have to do extreme things and don't try to do everything together. I tell my clients, take one thing, master it, and then move to the next one. And you choose what you want to fix first. You want to fix your food first. You want to fix your sleep first. You want to fix your relationship first. You want to fix your exercise first. You decide. Whatever is easy for you, start with that. At least fix one thing first and then slowly try to find balance with your relationship, with your own body, with your work.
I love that. I think too many times we try to do everything at once, and then next thing you know, we don't fix anything. And like you said, we don't see that instant gratification. So we just said, forget it, I give up. And then we go back
Yeah.
to the old rituals that we have on that.
Absolutely. So I tell my clients, imagine if you want to climb up, you want to go from ground floor to first floor, you are not going to jump to the 10th stair. You will have to take the first step, second step, third step, and it will take you time to reach there. So imagine your lifestyle change as a staircase or climbing up the ladder. It could be in your business, it could be for your health, it could be for your relationship.
Well, tell us a moment in your life that was the most challenging, and how did you overcome that?
I had many moments, to be very honest. Because life is not easy. Maybe people who are listening to this right now thinks, oh, it's very easy for her. She has everything. Life is unpredictable. You don't know what's happening next moment. Life is unpredictable. So I had many challenges, but the most challenging part for us as a family was when I gave birth to our first daughter in the year 2012. She was born premature in 28 weeks and only weighing 900 grams, which is less than 2 pounds.
Wow, really?
Yeah, yeah. And she was in neonatal care unit for 55 days. So imagine a heart of mother being at home and your first child is struggling for life. That was very, very challenging. But my positivity and my inner strength and prayers and family support helped us, come out of it. And thank God, I mean, she's absolutely fine. I mean, doctors were, like giving us counseling that she might not have her brain developed, she might not have her heart developed, lungs developed, because she was born very early and she was very little. But we prayed and we prayed and we prayed very hard. So in my mom's hometown, everybody calls her a miracle baby because no one in my family had a preterm baby. No one in my extended family and no one in our neighborhood had this.
Yes. I'm a big believer that life happens for you, not to you, right? And
Absolutely.
you grow through things, you don't go through things. And I think about when my wife
Absolutely.
was diagnosed with breast cancer, we went through the same thing. So let me ask you this. What did you learn about yourself in that season?
I think that was the point where I really understood that if I am not strong mentally and emotionally, I will not be able to take care of my baby, my husband, and myself. So I started working on myself then more and more. Inner engineering.
Yes, I love that. See,
Yeah.
and right now I think we need to hear this message because there is uncertainty and people, we need to stop focusing. I think too many people right now in this season, we're focusing too much on the uncertainty. It's there. Life is happening. What are you going to
Right.
do with what comes at you every single day? And I'm speaking to myself too, because I've had some days just moving and selling our house. And it's just like, man, you just like, right. You get frustrated. We're being honest,
Right.
but you got to
Right.
realize, okay, well, why is this happening to me? What's the lesson behind it? How can I grow through this and not just go through this? And we say it. And even us being coaches myself, it's like, I caught myself like, honey, what do you see? What am I not doing right? Cause there's days of that when big situations, I call them trauma times, right? When those big challenges, those trauma times come in your life, you have to realize that it's there for a reason. It's a
Right.
lesson to teach us something. The world's trying to speak to us. The universe, God is speaking to you, and maybe we're not learning the lesson.
Right.
And the fact that you realize that, hey, I need to strengthen my own mindset. I need to become a stronger person of myself. I don't know who
Right.
you were before, but I can tell you who you are now. You're an amazing person.
Thank you. But this doesn't happen overnight, Daniel. Let me emphasize,
Yes.
it takes years of practice. That's why when we have tough times, it is easy for people like you and me, or, there are more people out there to come out of the situation even stronger because we have been training ourselves. It's like you brush your teeth daily. So transformational changes needs daily implementation. You have to start somewhere and you have to be consistent every single day. Of course, there are a few days you would miss out, during the weeks or a few times in a month, which is okay. But you have to practice. So in my book also I've mentioned, and I keep repeating this, strong minds make better decisions. So,
Yes.
work on that, work on that. And change is, change is the constant, like, it's a constant thing. It's never going to stop, whether we like it or not. Whether you accept the change, like, I don't know if I think it's from America. Somebody told me long time back, accept the things you can't change and change the things you can't accept. If it is in your situation to change it, if it's in your capacity to change it. But if you can't change it, don't crib, accept.
Yeah. I always say that change is inevitable. Progress
Right.
is an option. You choose to progress every day. So we're almost getting to the end of our show. What is next for you? I mean, you got a lot of great things going on. Tell us what's next on the big stage, or what's the next big thing going on in your life?
Next big thing, I mean, in my head, I have too many plans. I want to be on Oprah Winfrey show. I want to be on stage, being a keynote speaker, having a TEDx talk. So that's what happening. But apart from that, I recently launched my book and my podcast is rocking. Today we released the 50th episode, which is in less than 6 months. We haven't even
Congratulations.
completed
Woo!
6 months. Yeah, thank you.
That's
And
awesome.
I am so happy to announce that Daniel Gomez is our guest on the 50th show.
Woo! Yes.
Yeah, so next thing is having more clients right now, working on that. Was planning to do some courses if I can, but I don't like making courses and just throwing them on different websites for people to buy and not do it, because I know most of the people buy courses and don't actually finish it or even implement it. I'm thinking about having training sessions where people can come in group, and if they want to launch a podcast, if they want to become a coach, where they find themselves accountable with other people in the same group. So it's just an idea. I'm trying to implement that in next few months now.
Awesome. So I like my guests to share a word of wisdom or a quote before we leave the show. What is something that's kept you going, or what's something that you tell yourself as a quote or as a word of wisdom that you fall back on that keeps you going?
I think I've shared a lot of quotes during the show.
What's one of your favorite ones?
I have many. Actually, it depends. Every day, my favorite one changes. Depends on my mood. If I'm low, I remind myself for a positive one. But I think the best one I have to remind myself is that I am the architect of my own future. I have that inner power to design what I want. I don't let others, design my future. Or I don't give my remote control in other people's hand, like I posted it this morning on LinkedIn. Yeah, so I can be, or people can be their architect of their own future.
I love that. I am the architect of my own future. Boom! There it is. That's her word of wisdom. Man, I love that. I think I like it because I'm the confidence architect.
Awesome. Yeah, you can add on things on that, confidence architect, success architect, whatever you would like to.
I love that. I am the architect of my own life.
Future.
Yes. So where can we find this amazing, amazing woman on the other side of the microphone? Where do we find you at? Where do we find your book? How can we hunt you down?
My book is available on Amazon.com. It's called Why Me First. WHYMEFIRST. Why Me First. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, or I have a website, bodymindsolution.com. It's not with S, it's only solution. bodymindsolution.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being a guest, and what an amazing show. And I'll tell you, this is great content that she put out. And those of you out there, if you want to hear some more amazing content, I want to invite you to join our Facebook group, Distinctive Syndicate. We have a lot of amazing content where we encourage, edify. Some of it's mindset. There's just business, and really just it's related to God, because I believe when God's the center of your soul, that everything else will prosper. So thank you so much. That's this week's show, and we'll see you next week here on the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. This is Daniel Gomez, and thank you so much for tuning into our show today. We'd love your feedback. Please drop us a comment, and thank you for leaving us a review. Don't forget to subscribe to our show and share this episode with a friend. And my free gift for listening to our show today is a copy of my best-selling book, You Were Born to Fly. To get your free copy, go to DanielGomezInspires.com and get your copy today. That's DanielGomezInspires.com. And to elevate your life and business even more, follow me on social media at Daniel Gomez Inspires on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Together, we will discover the key that unlocks your confidence.